The window dressers are back. Window dressers are inserts that fit into window frames and help insulate homes, keeping warm heat inside and the cold winter air outside, where it belongs. Window Dressers is the name of a nonprofit organization based in Maine that has developed a way to create the insulating window inserts, which are measured precisely to the dimensions of your home's windows. Measurements are taken of the window sizes and are then sent to the Window Dressers headquarters in Maine, where the idea for building the window inserts using community volunteers originated in 2010, and where the frames are constructed. Then they're sent back to the community, in this case, Arlington, and another build, as they're called, scheduled for Bennington and the South Shire from October 6th to 7th, where the plastic covers are installed and the inserts finished. The North Shire build will be taking place at the Arlington American Legion Post headquarters from September 29th to October 4th. And we talked recently with Jim Salzgiver of Dorset and Jeff Dexter of Sunderland about what will be happening.
The community build itself, when people are volunteering and being a part of it, it starts September 29th and runs until October 4th. And that is in Arlington at the American Legion there. They were our host last year and it worked out great. And we made window inserts for the American Legion last year and they were very pleased, and we're making some more for them this year. It's a classic case of, once people see them and see the effect they have, when it gets cold in the winter and all of a sudden you don't have these drafts coming in, people get very excited about them.
We're also able to give a lot of these to lower income families and seniors through grants that we got from foundations or donations from local corporations. And the big thing I see too, a lot of people telling me, my gosh, I looked into this, buying these commercially, and with postage, delivery, whatever, these things are like $200 each. And you have to, these inserts, I should say, you have to measure them yourself. That's the beauty of what we do, because we have volunteers that go out and actually measure them right down to the, thousandth of an inch type of thing, because that's the important part of this. For these inserts,
Jeff and I could.
Yeah, we both have one. You got white, you got pine. For them to
so people don't need to use the imagination. This is a little one.
Right.
This is essentially what it is, which it's a wooden frame, plastic on both sides. So there's an airspace in between. Then it has this weather stripping. Essentially, you put it in your window, and that just essentially squishes down to nothing, and that creates the airtight seal in your window. So this is measured perfectly to your window, and then you just put it in, and friction holds it in.
Exactly.
Drafts go away, and this has, it's 2 layers of plastic with air in between that then is typically on a window with other air in between. It actually works really well to increase the R value and just cut out those drafts.
Yep. And there are little tabs at the bottom, so you can take them out if you want in the summer. Again, the beauty is the cost of these too. Not only do they save a lot of energy, get us off fossil fuels and make it more comfortable in their homes, as Jim said, but the cost, anywhere from like about $40 to $70 each for people that are able to pay, and versus, like I said, $200 for inserts that you would buy commercially that aren't measured by experts.
So, and for a regular double hung window, we're talking, in the neighborhood of $40, which all the research has been done on this. It says that the payback on that is pretty quick within a couple, few years. You get a full payback, and honestly, we've heard from so many people, and I can attest to this in my home. It isn't just the lower heating bills. It's also that, my wife in her little office area in the past, in the winter, it was a little uncomfortable. It isn't anymore. It's comfy, which makes a big difference.
A lot of this, again, keeping the costs down is important, but because we ask all the able-bodied people that are customers of ours to go ahead and come out and volunteer themselves. So, as I said, it is volunteer driven, and people, again, that are buying it come out too. And
The way the bill tends to work is people sign up. People can help bring some food for the folks who are building. That's one way to volunteer. The other is typically we do it 2 shifts a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and people sign up for whatever shifts they want to work, for just a number of hours helping assemble these inserts. And we'll tend to have we'll tend to have total number of people in the place at once, usually anywhere from 8 to 12 people. And a lot of us diehards, we tend to spend a lot of time there over the week we're building, and it is a lot of fun actually doing the building.
yeah,
It's everybody. We have yet to have anybody who says, I can't do this. We train them how to do it, and they happily work away, chat and stuff like that.
We also had a chance to speak with Jessica Williams, the executive director of WindowDressers, to get the bigger picture of the organization's work. WindowDressers operates bills in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont Vermont has been an area of growth for the WindowDressers, with 22 bills planned for this year in towns all across the state.
I think that there's still a lot of growth in all 3 states that we currently serve. So Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. So Vermont is relatively new compared to Maine. So I think there's, and the expansion there has been somewhat explosive. It's been, it's gotten sort of everywhere, almost everywhere in a relatively short amount of time. But I still think that there's a lot of room for growth within Vermont, and connecting with maybe some smaller communities, again, some more underserved communities, figuring out ways to serve them. In New Hampshire, there's a huge amount of growth potential there because we've only had 3 teams over the past number of years there. So I think we're looking to make some connections with local energy groups and just local volunteer groups that are looking to take action, concrete action around climate change and energy efficiency, weatherization. And in Maine, where we've existed for the longest amount of time, what we're seeing now is some of the teams that have been with us for a while are starting to retire, or post COVID they just didn't return for a number of reasons. So we're sort of in a rebuilding phase in Maine, so trying to rebuild the program and get back to the number of community builds in Maine that we did have in the past. So it's all 3 states are pretty different, but there's still a lot of room for growth potentially. If we start to really grow quickly, then we're going to need to, and this is part of the strategic plan, is really look at adding an additional production facility so that we can more easily serve the communities in Vermont and New Hampshire, so that all of our materials aren't having to be delivered from Maine. So that's a big logistical piece.
It's not too late to sign up and help build some of the window inserts at the build that'll be happening later this month in Arlington. In addition to building the inserts that save people money on their heating bills, which also help reduce carbon emissions, several volunteers and homeowners who ordered the inserts and helped out building them often mentioned the satisfaction of working together to do something useful and economical, sort of like a modern-day community barn raising. A win-win-win, in a way. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.